is the BetMGM Premier League, and it's coming to you live on Sky Sports from the incredible city of Berlin, Germany. This is our first Berlin semi-final. It's time to welcome back our players. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Bahrain Dance Master, the winner of the Masters Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, a two-time World Championship semi-finalist. It's time to meet the former Lakeside champion, the Bullet, Stephen Bunting. Champion, the reigning World Cup champion, the newly crowned Wimbledon World Master. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the former champion of the world, Luke
semi-final of the night then, here in Berlin. We have Stephen Bunting, who got his first match win, got his first point of this Premier League campaign after a 6-2 quarter-final victory over Nathan Aspinall to kick off the night. A really good display actually as well, 103.5 average, 55% on his doubles. So can he do it all again here against the world number one, who had to fight back from 3-1 down to see off Rob Cross. 6-3 is how that one ended. You just saw the table there. Well, Luke Humphries, with that victory and with Littler going out, well, he has closed the gap at the top to 6 points. So can he add any more this evening? Humphries looking to make it to a 5th final of this Premier League campaign. Stephen Bunting, of course, looking to make it to a first. To guide you through our first semi-final, I'll hand you over to Glenn Bowen and Dan Dawson.
Yes, well, it's taken 2 months, but finally we get to see Stephen Bunting more than once in an evening in the Premier League. Twice in one night, Stephen, steady on, you're an animal. But He has played Luke once before, as you've just seen from that stat. It was a high-quality game. Didn't go his way, but could this trip to Germany bring a change of fortunes for Bunting? It already has to a certain extent. And Glenn, Stephen Bunting is one of the most consistent players in the world of darts for a good 18 months leading up to this year's Premier League and his return to it. Is it the most fanciful thing in the world to think this guy could go on a run and find himself maybe threatening that top four? Only takes a couple of nightly wins to jump up the table.
Honestly, I don't think that's on his mind. I think he genuinely feels if he could get that first one under his belt tonight, that just a weekly win, I think he'll take that in a respectable finish to the end of the Premier League. We know how much he wanted to be in the Premier League this year, and he went into the form of his life. I don't think he'll be thinking of that top four just yet, but what a story that would be.
Well, that is the top-ranked player in the world of darts, scoring 19. And Stephen Bunting is all over him in this opening.
Yeah, they're just sort of waving their arms a little bit. It's just a suggestion there. They're not comfortable the way the darts are flying in the air right now. I mean, it's all part and parcel of these incredible arenas, as is big finishes. Not to be from Bunting, who will be so relaxed right now, Dan.
You know, Humphries said in his game against Rob Cross, the early stages, he was finding it difficult to control the darts or the atmosphere in this place, but that it did improve as the game went on. May need to in this one, because Bunting has started brighter.
He's just looked relaxed around the hotel. It's, well, you know, we're in the same hotel where the players are, and I just liked his demeanour, like the way he was chatting. I liked his games at the Pro Tours this week. He didn't win them. He's been incredibly consistent at them in 2024, at the back end in particular. And I think he fancied the job tonight. It was a wry smile there from Luke Humphries. Bunting is beginning to believe.
Beat Humphries on the way to the World Series title in Bahrain at the start of the year. He beat him on the way to winning the Masters at the start of last year. But Humphries has some notable wins against the Bullet as well, including on the way to the World Match Play title last year and in his runs to the finals of the UK Open and the World Grand Prix. So when these two play each other, it's often high quality, and it often leads to one of them being in the final or winning the thing.
92.
Yeah, all the talk about Luke Humphries, Luke Littler, it could be a night where we've got a Stephen Bunting, Chris Dobey final. 40. Just a reminder that we've yet to see Gerwyn Price tonight. He's up next in this semi-final, but again, who'd have thought that was going to happen tonight?
46.
Bunting using the 25 to get down to a finish. Humphries won't need to do anything funky now that he's hit the treble.
140.
It feels like we're wax lyrical about Stephen Bunting tonight. Let's see a little bit of magic, Stephen. The crowd fancy it.
You're not going to take it out. That's not a bad second prize. Double-double. Gets the first, not the second.
I thought the hard work was done with the double 17. Bunting just seems to be getting these opportunities. Opportunities hasn't been given in this campaign. We did talk about the fact that he's had opportunities, not taken them. He may rue that. Big miss.
Working from there. Oh, double 5 for Coolhand.
15.
What's going on, Dan?
Stephen, you require 10.
Even the best in the world miss. Bunting doesn't miss on this occasion. 2-0.
Humphries is demonstrating all those attributes of being a very frustrated dart player right now. He's experienced enough, he's good enough to have the quality just to gather his thoughts. Something's not right, whether it's the missed doubles, the dart's not flying like he's liking. But you can just see from his demeanour, you'll see it from this last start. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and that'll be music to the ears of Stephen Bunting right now.
It seems the German public are taking Stephen Bunting to their hearts this evening.
Yeah, they just sort of sat a little bit flatter than normal, the darts there for Stephen. But the adulation from the crowds wherever you go in the world of darts right now for Stephen is it's very much appreciated from him. He works so hard with his social media. He's put a fantastic post on earlier how much he's delighted to be here. Could it be his night?
100. Luke require 124.
No need to go for the bullseye at the end of this, which is why he stayed on the 20s.
100.
Yeah, just kissed off that second dart there for Luke, looking to get back into this match. Pressure will be put on from Stephen. Might do the max.
Fills it up to leave double two. Will he get a go? The answer is no. Humphries on the board and in this game. Snatches that dart out of the board. Now, Humphries is frustrated with not getting his darts to behave as they want, and it is a hazard of the job in these big arenas, some more than others. We've got more than 12,000 fans in here tonight. How do you deal with that as a player, Glenn?
Yeah, it was a surprise to me, and it's not necessarily what I'm seeing from Luke. I'm seeing the expression from him. Watch this. Stare the dartboard, and then there's Luke Humphries, but it's how flat the darts are going in for Stephen Bunting, but he's not reacting. Them darts are not going in like they normally do, and you can see just a little wave of the hand there. But it's just part and parcel of what these incredible arenas are all about. You've got to deal with it.
It kind of speaks to the level of skill of these guys when they get up there and conditions aren't perfect, that they can make these adjustments. We've had players before say, look, it was going from right to left, so I end up just aiming over there, and they were skewing in sometimes.
Well, people were saying, was I aiming for the fives in my last year, but I think there's been talk of players using heavier darts. I mean, I remember Rotterdam, I remember Michael coming off it last year, and it really struggled. But the averages the players are posting this year, it's been staggering. You know, Humphries and Littler, the numbers they're just incredible. So it is what it is.
The early days of the World Series in Dubai, Gavin Price certainly used heavier darts when they were playing outside in the wind. And Gary Anderson and Michael Van Gerwen still managed to average 110 against each other in a game. Bunting's not going to fill this one up, is he? Went searching for the 18s.
It's almost like you need to know what the strategy is before. Not thinking is not helping Stephen. Certainly helping Humphries.
62. Stephen requires 66.
Awkward one, this. May only get one dart at double. Double 18 it'll be.
48.
One dart not enough for the bullet. For a level game.
Yeah, I was surprised with that first dart. That treble 10 looks so inviting. And he's been punished. Luke Humphries nowhere near his best right now. He will be delighted after 4 legs to have parity in this game. This is the type of game that Stephen Bunting usually enjoys, that match play style. He was brushed aside last week in a staggering display from Luke Littler, despite the fact he averaged 102. This one is right in the mix.
Just seems hard work. That sort of natural flow for Luke Humphries through his visits. He doesn't seem to be able to get into it because everything seems to be graft for him at the minute.
He was pointing out something to his family and friends there as he went back. Sometimes you can play with a bit of frustration inside. You seem to throw the darts a little bit harder. But it doesn't need to go the bullseye route. Goes the bullseye route. And why not? Double 16.
160.
Stephen Bunting nearly pulling out the 1-3-2 with a couple of bullseyes. But even though it's not gone, he's in a fabulous position to break Humphries and regain the lead.
If you're offered 3 darts at a double he likes, you'll take it every time. Can he use that first dart? Just brushes aside. Bunting leads 3 legs to 2.
Well, he got better and better as the game went on against Nathan Aspinall earlier, and Stephen Bunting might be doing the same thing.
And my mind's thinking there's big smiles there from Luke Humphries. They're with each other an awful lot throughout this 17-week season of Premier League, and who would begrudge a night like this for Stephen?
Saw him hit a 9 darts on the practice board earlier.
I wonder if he claimed 2 in one night. With 1,000 followers, maybe.
44.
Humphries making a quick adjustment. Not quite sure what it was. Might just been a change of a flight.
Yeah, he talks about those flights, doesn't he? Because he finds them so difficult to get now. I think he only needs to change them when he can.
100. Seem to require 161.
For a 4-2 lead. No real dramas here. It's about setting up after that first dart. May use the ball. That guarantees him at least the 2 darter there. Good moments for Stephen.
Well, he's pinning that bullseye. Hit it twice for the 1-3-2 attempt. He's hit it there for the
60.
setup.
Stephen requires 71.
Is it to leave tops earlier on in the match? Double 16 for 4-2. And there's a bit of daylight here, and Stephen Bunting is threatening to run away with it. A man who had not won a single game in 8 weeks of the Premier League is 2 legs away from reaching the final here in Berlin.
121.
I think the statistic that bothered me about Stephen was not the fact that he was losing 8. I mean, that was well documented.
85.
But if you sort of looked at deep down, it was those doubles. He was getting opportunities in legs over the past sort of 8 weeks, but he hasn't been taking them.
58.
But it's those types of finishes, that's 71, where you know you're going to get at least a dart and a double, then to ping it in 2. Can he see it out?
134.
Imagine how this feels for Bunting. After the misery of the first 8 weeks, to now be in Berlin with the biggest crowd in the Premier League so far, singing his name as he leads the world number 1-4-2, closing in potentially on his first final in this
60.
form.
And that looks like 3 totally different flights now for Luke Humphries. You can even get sort of a weighted flight in a sense, like they're a thicker
58.
style. He's doing everything he can to alleviate the issues that are going through that mind right now. With Bunting just going about his job. Again, he's disappointed with that because 2-2-2, he fancied that with 6 darts.
58.
That's not enough.
Stephen require 164.
When he leaves the 84, Bunting might fancy getting a couple of visits from here. He's going to need him.
124.
What a set-up shot from Stephen Bunting. Now Luke Humphries. What have you got? Double 12. Double 6. Does not go. And he is in all sorts of bother now.
Just listen to that crowd. They're on this man's side, as many people are. Many neutrals like Stephen Bunting. He's suffered this Premier League season, but right now things are going the way. Players are missing against Stephen, and he's taken on that last start, a double 5 to boot as well. Bunting one away.
Stephen Bunting is powering towards victory. Humphries doesn't look like he believes he can turn this around.
The character, the courage. He used the word embarrassment of the way when he was losing games, but he's never given up hope. This is terrific stuff. The game is in the palm of his hands right now.
60.
I always quote John Paul when it comes to this: if playing conditions aren't perfect, yes, it might damage your game, but if you deal with it better than your opponent, you've got an advantage. And Stephen Bunting has certainly dealt with this better than Luke Humphries has in this game.
He's been disciplined, he's been accurate. What an opportunity for Stephen Bunting. Yet to make a final this year, but set-up play is plan B.
81.
Well, he's been pinning the bullseye weird, and it's helped him leave tops after 12 darts. And Stephen Bunting, after weeks of misery, could taste success in Berlin. He has battered the world #1. The Bullet, winless for so long, wins back-to-back games, and Stephen Bunting is in the final here in Berlin.